Hey, Chris here. Let's talk about having a physical podcast studio versus having a virtual podcast studio. So I'm going to show you a picture. I opened a studio in New Jersey in 2012, and I had it for 3 years. From 2012 to 2015, I had my podcast studio, and it was great. I did a lot of networking. I got a lot of people to come in and be guests on my shows, but then I also... some of my guests and some local people started hosting their own shows out of my physical studio. And let me show you the picture here. So here you go. This was my actual studio. You can see the table with the 4 mics, and then there's the couch on the left. So it was cool. It was a lot of work, and it costs money to rent the space, and then you got to hustle to get people in there. So virtual podcast studios are much easier to run. I mean, anybody can run their own virtual podcast studio. Here you go. Here's a virtual podcast studio. What I'm showing you now is actually Riverside.fm, which is a very good service, as well as Squadcast is also good, and Zencastr is also good. But this is a virtual podcast studio. So when I moved to Colorado Springs in 2015, obviously, I shut down my physical studio in New Jersey, but when I moved here to Colorado Springs, I didn't have a physical studio, so I just used a virtual studio. And my clients, I would have them connect, and their guests would connect, and I would sound check them. I would run the recording session remotely instead of in person, and that's how most people do it these days, obviously. So, well, what's the difference? Obviously, a physical studio is way more expensive, and you have to make a commitment, right? Usually when you rent or lease retail space or office space, you have 3 years is kind of a minimum. They don't even do 1-year leases usually. But if you want to open a local podcast studio, I can pretty much tell you that you're going to have to become a networking all-star. You're going to have to network a lot and have events at your studio. And if you're a good networker and you get a lot of people in the studio and you sort of show them how it works and what to do, then the people are like, wow, oh, that's cool. I can do that. I want to host my own show. It really happens if enough people come in there and see the space and all that. So yeah. But obviously the virtual setup is a lot easier, a lot cheaper, and of course then you can live anywhere in the world and run a business producing podcasts, right? Because there's much less overhead, much less equipment, and a lot less time, right? So, all right, well, that's what I wanted to just go over today real quick. Don't forget my podcast, the Podcast Engineering Show, also the Daily Goody emails. 2-3 times a week I send them out. You can sign up for them at podcastengineeringschool.com. And that's also where I have my main course where I teach people how to work from home and earn a great living producing podcasts for other people around the world. It's a great career to have. It's a great skill to have. You can do it from anywhere and make really good money. So, all right, well, that's it for today. Thank you. If you want to like and subscribe, please do. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.